Alright, sorry about that. As it turns out, I don't have infinite time on my little recording thing. So, picking up back where I left off, I can make this like a 2 or 3-parter. But yeah, picking back where I left off, I'm still using the black. Fortunately, in the time it took to do that, a lot of it dried. But I'm still going to use it. Again, I'm not trying to go like a masterclass thing. This guy isn't exactly the prettiest. But, again, he's pretty okay. I should thin this more. Also, what helps is thinning is the paint can really get into the nooks and crannies without you doing much. But if it's too thin, it won't stick. It's finding that perfect balance. Hi, AC. And I have not found that perfect balance yet, but that's what this series is about. Not only educating you, but me too. Because, much like everything I've ever done, the only things I'm ever good at are stuff I've taught myself. And I'm not very good at even if I'm taught myself. Because as always, I am nothing but a self-taught amateur. But I don't need to be a master to do this. I just need to be good enough. I need to be pretty okay. That's good. Oh yeah, this miniature is also from the Reaper Bones line. They do a lot of good generic fantasy, which I've always been a fan of ever since playing Gauntlet Dark Legacy and watching Lord of the Rings when I was a little boy. Definitely had a big impact on my creative process. Let's get that helmet. Nice little helmet. Happy little trees on the helmet. Yeah. He's gonna need Tucker, and I've already got paint on me, but it doesn't matter, it washes off. Thankfully. Yeah. Sorry everything's not in focus. Admittedly, I'm just kind of getting this started. I don't really have a dedicated camera to this. Don't really have like a lot of dedicated... Well, I guess I do have a dedicated workspace. I bought a table and just put all my painting stuff on it, and it works. Still got quite a bit, actually. I might be able to do this whole guy. Nice, because I haven't been able to finish him for a while, because I haven't had any painting projects that really needed it, but no. Then again, I think I use too much black. But as long as I've got a standby model, I don't have too much paint. Just not enough miniatures. A little thick, but eh. Yeah. Get his sword. Yeah, and luckily this whole color scheme follows him exactly too, because Macaris is all about uniformity. They don't like it when people step out of line. Except the merchants, but the merchants have money, so they get away with it. And it's currently a political schism in Macaris, is people are sick and tired of the merchants. The merchants have been abusing their power for quite some time, and a lot of people are fed up. The problem is the merchants of Macaris, much like the merchants in a lot of other countries, still have a lot of political power. But there is a group called the militia who are taking the fight to the merchants. They're looting and stealing, getting out of hand and declaring war, even though they don't really have much of an army. They're just a bunch of vagrants who have been stirred up. I think the black's gone bad. Almost done. A little more black and he'll be finished, but he's not the focus of this. So, make sure you rinse your brush using cold water. I like to kind of get the paint off like this. Alright, now base coating is done, so I don't need my base coat brush anymore. Now, I need my detail brush, yes, but I also need another brush, which is just there it is, good starter brush. Will I be using it? I might use it. But until further notice, I don't need the black, so you can stay there. And actually, now these had time to dry. Let's see. Can you see him all right? Maybe it's a little. Come on, camera, focus. It cannot focus on this, can it? A little closer. There we go. It's focusing too much on. Okay, yeah. You can see some streaking, some things not filled in, but I can fix that later. And yeah, he's base coated. Which means now we move on to step 2. Alright. Quick review. My colors. Now, yellow, I'm probably going to... Should I do yellow now? Because a lot of the accents of the armor are yellow. So I might want to do yellow now. I'll need my detail brush for that. Actually, what I'll do right now is I will do the gray for the stone he's on. Or platform or whatever he is, whatever his base is. That's better. Just a little dab. A little dab will do ya. Right. Starter brush. Water this puppy down. And we're doing the base. You don't have to worry if you accidentally get a little bit on the armor or the skulls or whatever else your model's attached to, because you can always paint over. Definitely helps him pop out just a little bit. A little too thin, but I can add another layer after that. A little more gray paint. And you can see, you can kind of get a nice outline. Oh wait, he's on like a stone or something. It's a little difficult to see. Definitely look at your models and plan your attack beforehand. Otherwise, you might end up with some unpainted regions or some odd paint choices, like accidentally forgetting certain details are there, painting over them. Let me scoot just a little close. There we go. Yep, see, I already painted over the armor a little bit, but I can fix that. Yeah. A lot of the times painting is going back to the paint you just used and fixing it. You can see that. Or he's already standing on a little platform. Wish this camera zoomed a little more, or at least was a little more precise for this, but it's what you do with what you got. He's got some skulls down here, so his skull is not the only skull I'm going to be painting. Yeah. A little more Gotta just get rid of it. Yeah, he's sitting on a little stone. Looks pretty good. Yeah. I'll probably leave him like, oh, no, just a little more, and then I don't have to worry about it. Yep, that's good enough. And again, I'm done with the color. So I do a quick rinse. But I've still got some paint left over. So I take this guy here, who I should probably give it a name. I'll think of one later. And I paint his base gray. Admittedly, I'm not used to army paint. I usually do Citadel colors. But I'm trying different paints and mediums out. I'm seeing what I like. Let's get a nice gray. I'll thin it just a little bit. Little thick, little thick. There we go. Yeah, usually the miniatures I pick for the excess paint don't end up the prettiest because they're not the focus. But they're not supposed to be the focus. They're just kind of there, and they're good inspiration in practice. Yep, I'm getting them. Admittedly, it's a little hard to paint this way because usually I paint a little leaning and I gotta lean the other way, but I'm getting everything. Ugh. There we go. Yep, he's good. Go back down there, Corporal What's-Your-Face. Definitely let me know if you like this, content. If you want to see more, maybe what you want to see. Any newbie painters looking for advice, or any pro painters giving advice are all welcome. Plus, I also discuss lore, and you can find out about what's coming up in the comics. Because by the time of this recording, issue 1 has not been released. The prologue has been released, but not issue 1. So, the main antagonist is going to be Macaris. So I'm painting a lot of Macaris people right now. Alright. The paint dries quick, but I always like to give it time. And here we have him. Focus. Come on, camera. What is the camera not focusing? There we go. I need a better camera eventually. You can see he's standing on stone. Those skulls, which will be painted white. Definitely makes him stand out a little more. Alright. Now, move you over to paints I've used. Got my other paints lined up. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I'll do white. Just a little bit of white for the skulls. And none for the guy over there. Just a little down. Because a little paint goes a long way. I didn't do that when I first started and accidentally used a lot more than I probably should have. And now, because it's a little finer detail, I'm going to switch to my detail brush. Thin this out just a little bit. Ugh. I haven't quite mastered using white. as a color. Ugh. There we go, that should be good. Nope, that's way too thin. Let's thick it up a bit. Yeah, I don't want to undo a lot of the work I've done. Eventually I'll find a white I like. Currently, every white color I've used has fought me. You gotta be real careful, because I don't want to get into the holes, because that eliminates the point of the base coat, and then I'll just have to add more black. Alright. Let's give the folks at home a smile. He's got a skull. There's some kind of clumping. Dang it. And I'll fix that later. A lot of this you can just fix later. You can see that. Making sure the skull bits line up with his armor. I'll let that dry a little bit and then I'll retouch it. But right now I've got to work on the skulls down here. This fellow's skull's at the base. Definitely use kind of a light touch so you don't fill in the white completely. A little more white. Just quickly do the skulls. This is kind of a cracked skull or something, like it's just bones. Yeah, well. As you can see, they're taking shape down there. Let's fill in everything. And his face dried, so I can add some more white. Ow. Yeah, he kind of has a multicolored skull here, and we don't want that. Dang it, why do you keep fighting me? Get on the model, white. And it leaked a bit on the black, but I can touch that up because black is a lot better to use than white. I can touch it up later, but our skeleton and his 3 friends down there are now visible. And I used up the white. Not that the corporal what's-his-face down there is going to need any, because he's not a skeleton. Alright, clean the brush. And now let's take a look at him. Zoom. Why is there no, like, just enhance button or something, you know? Stop focusing on the background. Focus on the skeleton. There we go. Yep. His skull boy's down there, and he's got himself a face, so he's happy. And I'm not going to be using the white for anything else, so I move it over to the side, except for touch-ups if I want to do that. Now, for one of the biggest parts of the project, details. And for this, I'm going to need my detail brush. I'm going to have my yellow. And I see that my recording thing is almost full, so before I do that, I'm going to stop and I will be back with you later.